Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Afternoons with Ash Black. I'm your host, Ash Black. Today we will be talking about a program here in our community that's near and dear to our hearts, and mine specifically, the OC Film Club here at Olympic College. Now, my journey with OC Film Club started, I would say, approximately 8 years ago with an article that I read in the Kitsap Sun. That article outlined the accessibility of this program to students nationwide compared to for-profit private institutions. As some of you may know, Olympic College is a non-profit, publicly funded institution here within our community, and they have been pumping out some of the finest talent in the Northwest for a few years now. Someone to speak with me about his particular journey is my friend, local filmmaker, director, and talent, Justin Brandimarte. Now, you are the president of the OC Film Club as well, so I wanted to make sure that we mentioned that. Justin, why don't you tell me a little bit about your journey and what led you to the OC Film School?
I've been in the area for about 2 years. I moved to Vashon mid-pandemic, and I had kind of gotten out of film in school. I was working on a farm animal sanctuary on Vashon. And one day I was on the ferry and got an ad on Instagram from the Washington State Technical and Community Colleges. And it said Olympic College has classes in film. I was like, I thought Olympic was a for-profit because it didn't say City College or Community College in it.
Sure.
And I checked it out, and I sent an email to the head of the film department and got a tour from him, I think the next day or 2 days later. And I'd never had a school that was like, yes, please come here. Like, here's all our facilities. We really want people to come. And like, it was so personal. A lot of places they're like, yeah, go take a tour if you want and whatever. But yeah, I was like, what? It's a community college that has film classes. That's amazing. I'm going to do it. It's the cheapest option you can possibly get. Before that, I'd gone to a variety of schools. San Diego City College is where I got my start in film on the academic side. And that wasn't even really a film program. I got into the drama and radio and television broadcasting program there because they didn't have film, and met filmmakers through that, joined the film club there, made a movie, got really into it for a number of years, took lots of 3D art classes. I specialized in prop making and design for a while. And yeah, it just kind of came and went. I got into other arts for a long time, visual arts, big public sculptures and things like that. But film called me back. It's always my favorite. And every time it pops up, I'm like, okay, cool. And this has just been an amazing opportunity so far.
So speaking about OC Film School in particular, they build themselves as being comprehensive. You learn multiple different sides of the industry. You learn how to do production. You're doing editing. You're learning acting. Would you say that the faculty at Olympic College is, meeting that statement? What's your experience been like since joining the school?
I think they really do. A lot of film schools, part of the reason I never went to a really traditional film school is because you generally have to pick one. You're a director, you're a producer, you're an actor, and that's all you study.
Yeah.
And that was part of what drew me to Olympic College is you have to be good at everything. When you're getting into the bachelor cohort, you have to prove that you can act, you can write, you can direct, you can edit. And then once you get in, they really are like pushing you to do all those things, help out on other projects. Like, it's been very, very well-rounded so far. I'm only a quarter in, and the acting class that I'm in is one of the best I've ever taken. Our cinematography classes have been incredibly helpful in advancing all of us, even the people, and probably especially people who aren't really cinematographers. Like,
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a cinematographer. I don't operate cameras very well, but I know how I want things to look. And as a director, you have to know cinematography so you can say, this is how I want to look. But if there's anything that you need on films, they're very accommodating for like finding you the help and the education that you may need. And then Film Club is, we kind of pick up whatever's needed from there, I would say.
What do you think in your mind that the student body looks like at the OC Film School, particularly in regard to financial income? If we look at the numbers, a film school at a private foundation, a private entity is going to cost roughly like $40,000.
Generally 40 to 60 a year.
You
probably.
can get your associate's degree here in Bremerton in filmmaking, film production, roughly $8,000. Are students taking full advantage of that? And how is the faculty at the school helping them to succeed?
I would say students definitely take advantage of it. I think it's a very income diverse group that I have been exposed to. It's focused on the filmmaking, and people are going to have different priorities because of different things, but it's very accommodating, and we're given so many resources. We have piles of gear and studio space and all these different things that would normally be off limits to a lot of filmmakers, especially filmmakers who don't have a lot of money. The cost of the associates is really great. The cost of the bachelor's is what drew me in, because usually a bachelor's degree is going to cost you a lot more. I think the projected cost is like $13,000 for the bachelor's degree on top of the associates, which is, that's less than a year in just tuition at bigger schools, or if you went somewhere like UCLA or something, you're going to be paying a lot more money
with access to the real tools that filmmakers are using today.
Yeah, exactly. But we get that same access. We have insanely good cameras that most of us would never be able to get on our own without raising a lot of money and renting. The space we have, the advice we have it's very valuable. It's valuable more than just the savings in cost versus other schools. I feel like the teachers, the instructors are more involved than they have been at other schools. And they're like, these are working filmmakers who really love making film. If they come to your set, like, they're getting their hands dirty. They're like, well, let me help you with this. Let me move lights. We're going to do stuff. Like, these are people who really love it. And I think that passion is as valuable as the cost savings as well.
In regard to utilization of the tools that have been made available to you, can you speak regarding some of the projects that you've worked on since joining the program?
Yeah, absolutely. Our first big project, it was a film club production, but the program helped. We all kind of share because we're all in it. Was the Seattle 48-hour horror project, which you helped us with. I mean, I packed my car full of gear because the 48 hour is a crazy experience where you don't know what you're going to need really. So you just kind of like throw everything you can in. And I had tripods and lights and cameras and full editing bays and gimbals and all this stuff stuffed in my car. And it was even to the point where we're like, oh, we need a little crane jig. And someone ran over to the school and got one for us because it was right down the street. And then we were able to actually use the school's Wi-Fi. Someone was driving to set to upload all our video because it was massive gigs and gigs of video. So as far as that, that's our biggest project with the club. And then at this point, all the seniors are starting to get their projects going. So they're all in pre-production for, I want to say like 7 or 8 different short films that are being produced at the school currently. So then they like buy props and wardrobe and do we'll rent locations. They'll do all sorts of stuff to help out those productions as well.
Yeah, I believe I was reading yesterday on the OC website that they have funds that are available to students yearly, specifically graduating students, in excess of like $7,000 per year for different projects, so that students within the program can produce a well-funded Hollywood film. And I guess I say Hollywood, but what I actually am referring to is, a piece of our American film industry, because the truth is, films aren't just being made in Hollywood anymore, are they?
No, it's Hollywood's. I mean, it's always going to be the epicenter, but you have places now like Atlanta, Georgia, or Toronto, which are, I mean, most Marvel movies are shot in Georgia now. A lot of TV shows and stuff are shot there. And it doesn't have to be centralized, especially with how the advent of digital and being able to send stuff. There were people who worked on the 48 who had teammates in other cities. We had an editor in LA working with us, and our animator was in Cincinnati, I think. So really, it doesn't have to be focused there. And I think that's part of the draw of a place like this. It's like there's a good indie, grassroots, non-studio film space that exists and is getting bigger. And my hope is that we can start bringing studios to new places, actually build a film studio in Western Washington somewhere that big Hollywood films will be made in. But I think really the Hollywood aspect is just getting the quality level to where it is professional grade. And everything we do is encouraged to be sent to film festivals, and they really want us to get our work out there and get the awards and get our names known, because at the end of the day, as a filmmaker, it's your reel and your awards that you can trade on to get your next job. That's how we work. So they are all about building really good bodies of work, which includes making films that have funding. People can rent anything they want, essentially. They can rent trailers to pull cars. They can do pyrotechnics if it's something, safe. So it's the variety of support they offer is really cool, and what they will actually fund as well.
I have a question for you regarding, I guess, a big elephant that exists in the room within, film production these days. But it's really the rise of consumer-based cameras, software that's, made for consumers to edit, and really just the rise of the home caster, or streamer, if you will. What do you think the value in a film education is versus those that aspire to become, streamers these days? Is there a big difference between the education that one is getting at school and maybe one could pick up watching videos on YouTube? How do you speak to the rise in people that style themselves as creators within this industry?
Me personally, this is something you could probably debate for hours and hours, and every filmmaker is going to give you a different opinion.
Yeah.
Olympic College is very narrative focused. They want to make narrative content. But I don't think that it's mutually exclusive. I think that the education you receive in film will transfer to any artistic medium. Content creators, I think, are artists. They're making things. They're trying to entertain people. They're trying to do whatever. But they still have to think about cinematography and sound quality. They have to still tell a story, because even if it's just you talking to a camera, it has to be compelling. So it's about crafting that. Acting is another example, obviously. If you can act, you can do a content stream or that kind of thing. And then editing as well. I think it's all related, and to make a line between the two, it would really only serve to cut certain people out of things. And you never know when a content creator on YouTube is going to be the next great director of photography on a film. Like, you don't know if they're an actor or what they're capable of. So I think it behooves us to all just kind of share our abilities. And I love the rise of like consumer grade technology. I think cameras getting better is the coolest thing. We all walk around with video cameras in our pockets. Like, we couldn't have expected that, you know. When I first started making films, it was on a little camcorder. And I had a cell phone that was a big block at the time. But you know, it's the more technology we get, the better it is for all of us, I think. And we'll all find those areas where we can help each other out and be collaborative. Film is very much working collaboratively. So,
and the student population there is diverse in that regard too. I mean, it's not all just folks that are focused on, you know, creating the next great Hollywood picture. Mm-hmm. Some folks are attending the school just to make better live streams or videos for social media and such. So it really is accessible to all, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've found as I talk to people, there's very few who are like, I want to go make Hollywood movies. A lot of them are like, no, I want to be an animator, but I need my bachelor's degree and I want to learn the whole process. Like, I want to be an editor. I want to be all these specific things, but you get the advantage of the whole education. And, you know, not everyone can go into the Hollywood system. Like, it's selective, it's difficult. It's, you know, it's one of the harder things to get into, but I think everyone can find some value in the program. And a lot of people are just like, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. You know, there's people who are like, I'm going to make musicals, like, which is something that hasn't really been done a lot, but the faculty are like, yeah, let's more singing. That's great. More content. So I think, yeah, we can just push more and all share all of it together, I think.
Do you have any advice for any future filmmakers out there who are interested in attending a film school or possibly considering attending OC Film School?
Yeah, do it. Just do it. There's no reason not to. The biggest thing you learn in film is that you get success in film by making film. You're only going to get more films if you make films. And, you know, sometimes it's me as a teenager with a camcorder and stuff that's been on YouTube for 10 years that no one's ever watched. But the more you make film, the better you get at it and the more comfortable you get at it. And when you enter an educational thing like the Olympic College Film Program, you get more of a directed focus, but it also forces you to make films. You have to create work to pass your classes. So either way, just make film. Like, everyone just should do it, because why not? And if you can go to school, because it's totally worth it, I would say.
Tell me a little bit about the OC Film Club. What could a new student expect by joining the film club?
Lots of raucous parties and crazy. No, it's just a group of students usually who are talking about film, where our focus is kind of bringing in new people, bringing in lower division people to like get them to be in the bachelor's program, and just like involving the community and making films. But we really try to get people experience. The 48-hour film was a good example of that. We had 25 people on that set, which was way more than we needed. But a lot of these were kids that had never been on a movie set before. So it's like, yes, let's get that experience. You got to get in there and get that experience to really progress and know that you enjoy it.
Do you think the experience changes a person?
I think so. I think people probably have a lot of misconceptions and think that a movie set is a lot nicer and more glamorous than it is. But it usually ends up being a very chaotic, like energetic place. And it, I think the experience is just invaluable. So we try and push that as much as we can. But we're also, the film club is kind of building back up from the pandemic pause at the moment. I came in and put my name in for president because the club had just been basically decimated. It's been closed down. Like the gear is in 5 different lockers, and like, so I've been consolidating and like really getting in with the younger film students to see what they need. And we're going to be able to put on like workshops for them, and we've been connecting them with the senior thesis students. So they need PAs and actors and stuff. So you come to film club, you'll probably get recruited to work on a film at some point. Like it's inevitable because that's what we do. And yeah, it's the feedback from it is, you know, some people learn they really love it. Some people learn they don't, because film sets are stressful. But, you know, as long as we're all learning and progressing, that's our biggest goal, obviously.
Final question. What is your favorite thing about the OC Film Institute?
My favorite thing? It's hard to say. The gear is really great. As a filmmaker, having all these cameras and lights and sound equipment and stuff at your disposal is great. But it's film. It's always going to come down to the people you work with. Having a group of like really dedicated students and faculty who are all wanting films to be made. They want everyone to be doing their best work. And I think that is probably my favorite part, is just that kind of support and motivation around, and enthusiasm.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the winter semester starting on January 3rd, I strongly urge anyone who's interested in going back to school or increasing their educational foundation to apply to Olympic College. The faculty and staff there at the administration is more than happy to help anyone get enrolled. If you have financial difficulty, they have many programs to help get you started in your film career. So I strongly suggest that you get out there and check that out. It's a comprehensive program, and it's definitely worth your time. Justin, I can't say how much I thank you enough for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Digital filmmaking, oh yes, they make all your thoughts manifest. Intro to the art of film in American culture, screenwriting, acting for the camera, film, producing, directing, the digital filmmaking.